I dare say that were you to ask any couple that has been married for a few years what their most difficult challenge in life is, I would think that they would respond, chinuch, the education of the children they are bringing into the world. How does one possibly give over all of our dreams and aspirations, all that we wish to afford our children, to see to it that they become Ovdei Hashem Yisbarach, with a sense of self-fulfillment simultaneously, seeing to it that they grow up as mature, abiding citizens within Klal Yisrael, fully developing that which HaKadosh Baruch Hu has invested within them as potential, without detracting whatsoever from the experience that we commonly refer to as life. It's a great charge. This week's set of Ki Seitze, which the Bali Musar explained to us, is always to be found in the month of Elul, as we are marching towards the Yemei Hadin, the Yom Noraim, and we are becoming empowered by what the Psukim tell us in our fight against the Yetzer Hara. Ki Seitze Lamocha Ma Alei Dachav. There's a pasuk in this week's Seder that I believe speaks specifically towards the chinuch of our children, and listen to what it has to say. Ki sivneh bayis chadash v'asisa ma'kel gagacha. When you set out to build and construct a new home, and it doesn't have to be a new home that you're building. Most people don't have new homes, brand new homes. It could be a home that you purchased from someone else, or that which you were gifted. But when you live in a home and you have a rooftop, you have to see to it, lest someone fall off that roof. You have to see to it that you construct some kind of a fencing, of a guard around that roof. Because continues the pasuk, so that you shall not find yourself waking up one morning to see that there's blood in the house, there's blood on your hands, because someone will fall off that roof itself. And the Gemara in Shabbos tells us that perhaps even if that individual was destined to fall off a roof, ki yipol hanofel, he's already falling continuously in slow motion, falling off somebody's roof. See to it that it's not your roof, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu should not choose you as a messenger to impart harm to someone else. And of course, the Gemara fleshes out the meaning of this pasuk, and it says to us, not simply are we to be careful that no one falls off our roof, because that's a dangerous scenario that we are responsible for, but see to it that you never have within your home a kalavra, a vicious dog, or a sulam ra'ua, or a ladder that has a weak step from which someone can fall and hurt himself or herself. In a word, it means see to it that you never have in your home something that can hurt someone else. What about the inhabitants within the home? Of course, obviously it applies to them no less. And as children being raised by their parents under the roof, it applies even more so. We have to see to it that we never introduce into our home or permit there to be introduced into our home or anything entering our home, something that is potentially of negative impact to ourselves, of course, and to our most precious commodity, the children that we're raising. When a couple sets out to build a new home within Klal Yisrael, all of us had to, have to, and yet will continue to have to, in the raising of our children, to whatever degree we have input into the raising of our grandchildren, and then some, God willing, see to it that we have proper fences, because it's simply too easy to fall off the roof. It's simply too easy to fall off the derech. It's simply too easy, Rahman al-Islam, to fall out of Klal Yisrael. But at the same time, so insightfully suggests the Chassam Sofer, when you construct the new home, and you will see to it that you will make a fence to protect that which is to be found inside. Make sure that you will not create a new problem of blood in the house, because someone can fall as a result of what? Not the fact that there is not a fence around the top of the roof, but rather, says the Chassam Sofer, the person, God forbid, could fall off because of the fence that has been constructed atop the roof that is simply too high. And if Sam Sofer says Bali Tshuva, understandably, and all of us are to be Bali Tshuva as we enter these Yemei Hadin. Bali Tshuva often construct for themselves fences to see to it that that which preyed upon them previous to their life change should not gain entry, and as well to protect that which they are trying to build inside this new fenced-in area. But says Sam Sofer, sometimes the fences are too high. And sometimes that which the Bali Tshuva accept upon themselves is simply too difficult. And instead of protecting and guarding and enabling them to move forward in safety, it causes them ultimately to fall afar, far away from where they are, far away from where they wish to be. And all of us know that at times, in order to see to it that our children are safeguarded, we introduce fences. But sometimes we set those fences too high. Sometimes we set the expectations too high. Sometimes we set the prohibitions too high, the chumras too high, the aspirations and requirements too high. And the children simply reach a day in their lifetime in which they say, you know what, I'm able to live up to it. I'll never be able to be who my parents wish I become. And therefore, it's such a difficult walk between the need and requirement to set up a fence to safeguard that which we're trying to protect and trying to create and trying to raise and accomplish, and at the same time, not to make it so difficult with its demands and expectations of keeping so much out that we forcibly, effectively, cause that which we are seeking to protect within our children to leave and to find a way around the fence, a way off the roof, a way out of the house. If there was ever a need for the Derech Mamutza of the Rambam, for that central path, to have a formula and to discover what it is, it's within the arena of chinuch. We don't have a formula, but we need to be aware of it. That when we're building our homes and building our legacies and trying to establish our lineages, we build fences, but not in the way, God forbid, that our children should fall away from the fences that we're building. Have a wonderful Shabbos. And as we continue the month of Elul towards Yom Naran, Aksiva Chasima Tova, for a wonderful, good Gebench Yar to everyone. Have a good Shabbos.